People are mad at Treyarch, which is nothing new to be honest, but they're mad at them in a unique way. And what it has to do with is the story of the final map of Black Ops 6 Zombies Reckoning. Because in this map, we see so many bad storytelling moments over and over and over again that it honestly just hurts and is embarrassing for Treyarch. Whether this be story beats or characters that we thought were going to be important or very powerful that just get downplayed into nothing, or inconsistencies in the storytelling, or at its worst, straight up contradictions in what we were told in the past. And I want to talk about these because this is something that Treyarch really needs to never do again, because it's just embarrassing for you right now, Treyarch, and it hurts my soul to see that this is happening with the story, especially a zombie story that I used to absolutely love back when it was Ether. And especially with the old crew set to return in Black Ops 7, we cannot have it happen to them too. Now, there's a lot of different examples for a lot of things we're going to talk about here, but I want to talk about the biggest ones. And the first thing I want to talk about is the most embarrassing, is the straight up contradictions in the storytelling that we've been told. And I think the biggest one has to do with the real Samantha Maxis. Because what we were told ever since Cold War and Forsaken, when she went and flew into the Forsaken, literally after that happened, Gray radios in and tells us that she's trapped in the Dark Ether again. That's what we were told. That's exactly what happened. And in fact, in Black Ops 6, we're told this again. Our characters are still under the impression she's in the Dark Ether. That's true for the launch maps, the DLC maps 1, 2, and 3. But for some reason, when we get to Reckoning, that all changes, because now we're just told by the Sam AI Richtofen that she's actually been dead this whole time, but maybe you could say they're lying or whatever. But then we hear from the Forsaken himself that he said he devoured her. Like, what? No, you didn't. That's not what happened. What happened is that she damaged you by going into that portal that you were trying to let all the zombies and Dark Ether energy through, and she stopped that portal, and the way to stop it was by flying into there and stopping it, very similar to what Klaus did in Mauer der Toten, but also damaged you in doing that by cutting you off from the rest of the Dark Ether and made you vulnerable, and that's how you got sucked up into the orb. But now what we're being told is that he devoured her and she was also in the orb with the Forsaken. Like, no, that's not what happened. That's not what you told us. This is a complete disregard from what you've been telling us for so long about what happened to Samantha Maxis. Like, how are we just switching up out of nowhere here with the storytelling? Like, it makes no sense. And I mean, this isn't the only time. There's like so many examples of straight up contradictions in their storytelling in this final map that it hurts. Like, another great one is that in Cold War, we were told that the reason Richtofen's family ended up being killed was because Weaver took out the hit on bad intel that was given to him by Samantha Maxis. That's what we were told. It was both of their faults. That's what was supposed to be the thing. But then in Reckoning, we have a radio where Weaver gets the bad intel all by himself. There is no Samantha Maxis mentioned at all there. So where the hell is Samantha Maxis' fault in why Richtofen's family was killed? What is going on? How can we just completely ignore that? Like, that is insane. Like, Treyarch, do you not have anybody double checking, making sure you're not making any contradictions in your story? Do you just have a new team writing every single map? Like, what is happening here? You need to have someone that's like, their literal job is to do nothing but to make sure that you're not contradicting yourself. I think there's literally someone's job back during Jason Blundell's era that literally had the job to do this. And I think he was still there during Cold War, but recently was let go or left himself. Regardless of what happened, he's no longer there. But when he left, you had to replace him, because if you don't, you have stupid stuff happens like this that is straight up contradicting yourself, and that is embarrassing for you and really hurts our experience of this story. But maybe we should have expected these contradictions, because this is something that a lot of people have been pointing out throughout the entirety of Black Ops 6 Zombies, but people didn't care as much, myself included, because it didn't have anything directly to do with the Dark Ether story itself. The contradictions had everything to do with the Chaos story. Like, they brought over themes from the Chaos storyline and then completely misused them and didn't understand how they worked. Like, the best example of this that is always hilarious to me is the Sentinel artifact, because the Sentinel artifact, how it's supposed to work is that it starts a trial when you activate it, and if you are successful and found worthy after completing that trial, it will give you a piece of information on how to create an infinite amount of prima materia. That's how it works. That's how it's supposed to work. You're supposed to complete 9 different Sentinel artifacts to get the full knowledge of that. But then comes Black Ops 6 and says, nope, that's not how it works. Now the Sentinel artifact shoots a laser out of it. Now the Sentinel artifact needs to be charged up. Now the Sentinel artifact can bring people back to life with just one of them. Like, no, that's not how it works. But whatever, we overlooked it because it was chaos. But now I realize that was a mistake. We should have called out those contradictions when it came to the chaos storyline, because eventually they were going to come to the Dark Ether storyline too. And I wish that was it. I wish that was the only major problem with this. But another annoying thing about this story is how many times have we seen significant story beats or significant characters just being written off as a joke. And the example I want to use is the Forsaken himself, because the Forsaken in Cold War was built up to be this all-powerful being, godlike figure in the Dark Ether, had complete control over it. But then in Reckoning, that all changes, because now he's in an orb, has been trapped there, which is fine, but then we free him. But you know what he does? He just takes over an Uberklaus and is super easy to kill. And then we turn him into the Wonder Weapon gun. And the Wonder Weapon gun isn't even that good. It's a mid Wonder Weapon at best. Like, bro, what? This was supposed to be a godlike being, wasn't he? Now he's just a mid Wonder Weapon? What is happening? Like, this one is so bad that I honestly, when I first saw it all happen, I couldn't help but laugh. If you guys watched my stream when we were hunting for all these steps, when I saw that we turned the Forsaken into a mid Wonder Weapon, all I could do was laugh, because how ridiculous is that? And it's not just the Forsaken, like, even things that aren't supposed to be all powerful, where you have characters like Panos, who I think a lot of people, myself included, think is the best character they've ever introduced into the Dark Ether story, and they just got him, and they also just turned him into an upgraded version of the Wonder Weapon, which is weird. And I really hope that's on the canon side, because Panos is so freaking cool, and I really hope he's not gone forever. Now, the last thing that people have been annoyed about is just story beats that just go absolutely nowhere. And there's a lot of examples of these, but at the same time, you could write a lot of these off and say, sure, they didn't explain them in Forsaken, but we still have Black Ops 7. They could play them off there, explain them there, which is fine. So I'm not going to focus on the ones that are there. Instead, I want to focus on the ones that absolutely cannot go anywhere now. And the best example of this is both Samantha Maxis and Eddie Richtofen's memories of the old timeline. Because in Cold War, we had evidence that Samantha Maxis was slowly remembering things from the old timeline, the Ether timeline. And in Black Ops 6, we had that same exact thing happen. This was in the Citadel de Mort intel. But then now comes Reckoning. Guess who's dead? Samantha Maxis has apparently just been dead this whole time. Congratulations to us. Now she's never going to remember it. Like, that story beat goes nowhere. But even if you assume everyone's lying and she's actually still alive, well, how about Eddie? Like, there was supposed to be his thing and about his memory. Well, if the Sam AI ending is true, which a lot of people believe, then he's actually just dead now. And now both Samantha Maxis and Eddie, the only two characters that walked over from the old timeline to this one and had memories of that old timeline, are just dead now. Congratulations, those went nowhere. And it's not only that, like, there was Richtofen's son Samuel that was really teased at being still alive in the Dark Ether all this time, but apparently that's going nowhere, because if you get the Richtofen endings, he just comes back to life anyway, so I don't know. But regardless of what it is, it's just problems with this are just kind of annoying. And I think everyone watching this video can agree that stuff like this can't continue to happen. Treyarch, this is embarrassing for you, and it's hurting our experience, and you have to do better.